We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Open your eyes.
Hey, everybody. Kim is having a couple of technical difficulties. She will be right along. So, hi, Ginger. Hi, Tina. Hi, Sue. Facebook user. How you doing? Facebook user, just while I'm in here alone. Hi, Brian. Please, before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to show us who you are or tell us your name. Just as you're getting ready to speak, that way we'll know who we're chatting with. That would be really awesome. So I hope everybody is having a great day. Oh, look, Michelle's telling you too. Please grant StreamYard permission to show us your name. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Welcome to your own show.
I froze. I froze up big time. I had to close StreamYard and reopen it in a new window. Did the opening play?
It did. It was choppy, but it did play.
I froze. I don't know what happened there, people. Welcome to our show. Welcome to Open Your Eye. If nothing else, it's eventful, right? Working out glitches. So this didn't work out the way it was supposed to. I was completely frozen down. I was supposed to come in and introduce Cindy, but Cindy came in and introduced me.
There you go.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right? We're going to do it. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. So yeah, I'm not sure what Cindy filled y'all in on, but welcome to Open Your Eye. This is our maiden show. We will work out the glitches. I mean, I thought we did a practice run earlier, and the practice run worked great. And of course, as soon as I hit that go live button, glitches galore, right? Of course, because now we're live, and that's when the glitches are going to happen. But we'll get it done. We'll get this better and better and better and better as we go along. So what we've got going on here is, of course, we are the People Advocating Cannabis Education Network here at paceradio.net. And we've decided to branch out. We've branched out into psychedelics. Yes, the realm of psychedelics and the medicinal properties that they carry. It's helping a lot of people. And it has been helping a lot of people for a very long time. And now it's starting to get some traction in the world of medicine and get some attention. So we thought it's about time we put a spotlight on this. And I thought, what better way to do that than to team up with a fellow patient who is on the same journey as I am. And of course, that's you, Cindy. We're both on a journey using our own methods with psychedelic therapy to treat our own disorders and our own medical conditions, including PTSD and some stresses and some trauma. So I'm glad that you could join me, and you and I are going to do our best to do some one-on-one interviews with people that are in this space and helping out people. And I thought about it some more, and I thought, well, we really should include some patient interaction and people interaction into that mix. And we should bring somebody else to take care of that end and do the research part, so we can concentrate on the interviews with our guests. And who better to discuss patient needs, patient interactions, Q&As than the lovely Michelle Sikora.
Hi, Michelle.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well today. Just want to say
Yeah.
thank you so much for bringing me into the group, Kim.
I'm happy that you said yes to join us. I was just thrilled when both of you said yes to going on this journey with us and learning more about psychedelic medicines. We are all three of us on our own journey, and we're all at different stages in that journey. We've all been on the journey for different lengths of time. And our focuses have been various. They're not all the same. So even though all of us do have a mitt or a paw in the psychedelic era and in the psychedelic medicine, we all have very different focuses, very different experiences, and very different knowledge base. So coming together, I think, is going to make one hell of a great pie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've got a fabulous team going on here. I've already learned so much just by chatting with the two of you and learning how you're doing your journeys and what you're doing. It's allowed me to take a look at what I'm doing and possibly tweak it a little bit, and maybe get more out of my particular journey. And it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. It's very exciting. And part of the excitement is our audience interaction. Of course, Pace Radio Network. So radio. I've been in radio for 6-7 years now. I've been in radio. I don't do this. I don't do video, but apparently, now I do. So now I do. So I can no longer say I don't do video because, I do now. We wanted to bring the video element into this, given the times that we live in and the migration of the planet onto the internet. We thought we should expand the radio network and include a video segment. So I'm very happy to bring the network its very first video segment that is also viewer interactive. And with that, I'd like to say hello, ladies, back to you. Hello, sir. From Mike Powell says, hello, ladies. Chadwick McGregor's in the house. Synth J. Jet is in the house. Adam Serpak, D. Cochran, Sue Muse, a whole bunch of Facebook users, Tina Llewellyn, Leslie Fredericks, Stephen Llewellyn, Brian Swain, a whole bunch of people are in the house, and it is fantastic. Dee Cochran as well, Ginger Chase, of course, is with us. Whole bunch of yous are here, and thank you so very, very much for joining us on our maiden show.
Yeah, we're really excited that you've come along to see us and hear us.
Yeah, for sure. You excited there? You're ready for your segment there after the break there, Michelle?
You bet I am. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I'm watching the comments. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, or you can always private message me if you don't feel comfortable putting it up here. And we will do our best to have our guest answer them for you. Or, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are really, really excited about our guest, and we're not going to waste very much more time at all. We're going to get to him right now. We're going to bring in our guest. Michelle is going to hang out in the lobby while we have our chat. Don't forget, as we are having our chat with tonight's guest, please chime in on chat if you have questions for him, and Michelle will go through those questions with tonight's guest that we are bringing in right now. Mark Howard, the shaman, Mark Howard from, of course, the epic movie Dosed, as well as VeriCity, the Psychedelic Frontier. Shaman Mark Howard, welcome to Open Your Eye.
Hi.
Hi there. Yeah, we can see you good. I got to tell you, Mark, what a journey you have been on. We have viewed both your movies, VeriCity, the Psychedelic Experience, and as well as Dose. We viewed them on our movie night on our network, and so all of our listeners have already seen the movies. And wow, hard-hitting stuff, eh?
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, for sure. So give us a bit of background on Mark. We learned a lot about what you do through the movies. What set you on this path to do this?
Well, I feel like
Go ahead. Cindy, you
he's
take
got
over.
it. He's got it. Yeah, I agree. The dog is saying exactly what I wanted to say. So wait, look at that turtle.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, that's her new turtle and her new flag back there. But no, that's okay, Mark. Go ahead. Tell us
The turtle actually
what
looks
brought
a
you.
lot like what you see on some people a couple days after Iboga.
Oh, yes?
Well, sometimes. So, I mean, I'm 47 now. I grew up in Hamilton, Ontario. Just kind of got in trouble at school here and there, but some people saw some promise. I ended up making it through, did a couple of years in McMaster University in science, then left and kind of just came out into the real world. There was always like alcohol heavily involved with my life back there. Not just back there, but everywhere. Until I got older, I didn't realize it was just like not normal, or that it was, I don't know, it was almost like food, like, like family celebrations and alcohol. And anyways, I tended to build a relationship with alcohol, which then later on turned into, things like cocaine. I never got into heroin or anything like that, which was great. But to fast forward this, that relationship was not always the best for blossoming my flower, let's say. And when I was 37, I got a girl pregnant, and she was going to have a baby. We're going to have a baby. And I was like, yikes, because, and I needed to do something about that. And I was having difficulty, normal therapy wasn't working for me. I don't know why. Well, now I have a bit of a better idea. Anyways, a friend told me about this thing called Iboga. And when I heard about it, Iboga, it resonated with me quickly because it was a plant from earth, just growing from the ground. And I was like, well, that seems pretty special. So I looked into it as much as I could, and I went and found a shaman in Costa Rica, and I went. And, I went about 2 months before my child was born. And it was life altering, life changing. It was kind of like everything I sort of ever really would have wanted in that experience. It showed me things that I'd always thought might be real. It showed me things about myself. It showed me that, that my mind and the way I think really have a real influence on the direction my life takes. And that really, addiction almost became a choice, and it was something I needed to make. Right. And it's not easy. You still have to make it all the time. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of there's a lot of depth in what I'm saying. So how does someone, make a choice that's right for them or not? That's a pretty big thing because, even PTSD, where is it someone's choice to feel that anxiety and when is it not? Like, that's the problem. What are you going to do? What are you going to take to hide it, or how are you going to get by it, or how are you going to occupy yourself over here so you're not like constantly looking here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Iboga comes in and really like sort of an explosion, sort of levels the field.
Yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to see into yourself what you're really made of. Expands that consciousness, like using cannabis and things like that, mushrooms, anything that, even some illicit drugs right now, will give you that opportunity to see beyond sort of your everyday viewpoint.
Right.
So that experience changed my life, and I knew that, from then on, I became involved with, doing it more often over the next couple of years. Then it evolved where I began to train. I wouldn't say shaman is a pretty strong word. When you're in Africa, you really get an appreciation for true shamans. In a sense, a shaman, like I could definitely be considered an urban shaman or something like this, but you're more of a medicine provider. Shamans are, but if you look at shaman, the word, it's someone who's going to bridging the spiritual world with the physical. You're acting as a sort of bridge between two people. And so in a sense, I do that quite a bit with the medicine. It's just bringing the medicine to people so that they can use it safely, and being able to sort of translate and interpret their experience for them so that it's not such a, unknown experience. It gives it some direction, because the knowledge that's been passed down from these people that have used it for a really long time is it's basically, I put it like, imagine trying to learn, speak English without knowing any of the alphabet and not being given any letters to put words together whatsoever. That's the thousands of years these guys have used Iboga, and they've been able to share this knowledge with us. So I trained, I learned a lot, So like 6 years ago, I started, maybe 7 years ago. Well, 8 years ago, I started working with people. And then 6 years ago, I started working with people on my own. And, so that started out in Canada. So I don't know how much time I have.
Which is touchy, right? Oh, we're open. We've got nobody following us. We do have a schedule, but it's not carved in stone. We can go over by as much as we want. I've got full reign on this, so we're all right on that. I want to touch on that in Canada. Now, doing this stuff, you're taking a big risk. You could have faced criminal charges for what you were doing. But I compare this a lot to my cannabis journey. Because I felt the same way when cannabis helped me as a medicine, and it was illegal. And I thought, well, why is it illegal if it's helping people? And I just felt like everybody should be standing on the rooftop screaming, why don't you know this? You need to know this. It's kind of the same thing, right? You're compelled to tell people because you want to help.
Yeah, and we all go through different stages in our lives. And, as you get, you see glimpses of the truth. This medicine helps you see the truth. There becomes a lot of personal risk involved. That it's not just about me, it's about my family. I have 2 kids, another on the way.
Yeah.
But that compelling nature in me drove forward. So I guess when I first began to do it, there was no real this is why I was talking about time. I'm going to really, the medicine works on people on a physical level and a spiritual level. Okay. So basically, the body's going to you got to put your clean clothes on for church. You got to get the mud cleaned. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a big statement because someone coming in for say they're on heroin, this medicine has a profound, amazing effect like no other on opiates with its ability to sort of, refill those receptors or however the science is looking at this and help someone get past the withdrawals. Right. But there's also tremendous spiritual effects. And I mean, by your consciousness going into the depths of this truth and facing all these fears and everything goes along with it. So back 6 years ago, I'm training, I'm learning, and I'm doing, opiate detoxes and I was not, and there's the Iboga Therapist Alliance and they have protocols for certain things, but I'm coming from a training of a more of a traditional aspect. So I'm kind of hitting them with medicine and the way I did it, now I know now we do things entirely different. So,
right.
But explain back when I started doing it, you started learning pretty quick what was working and what was not. And then basically we hit fentanyl.
Yeah. The big one, right? The big one that's getting everybody.
Good. Yeah. And I mean, so it's kind of cool that I had this, glimpse to see because, opium and heroin, the real stuff is a natural sort of thing too, right? So it seems like the medicine really just interfaced with that really well. Come in, take it, maybe take it away in a sense like that. Fentanyl was just a game changer. And on top of it, there's benzos, which are really nasty too in there. And, so people are starting to use benzos and then there's meth and benzos and all this crazy stuff. So I'm going at it hard and I'm doing all this, seeing where it will go, doing these big sessions and working with people and very confident in the medicine. I've seen it work so much and I just, what it does and profoundly, it's a no-brainer. It's oh my God, this is amazing. I really have to show people I can make a life. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. Determined
yes. Determined to just, I don't know where, but then you start there's letdowns and there's risks.
Oh,
Then I'm in the hospital. I could go on all the show. I've been so many times telling doctors that this person's okay. And they're looking at you They've never seen
No,
anything
they're
like
not.
it, right?
Yeah, they're not okay. They
Well,
want to,
the thing is,
they just want to pump them up with the Narcan and everything,
no,
right?
it's past Narcan. It's like Narcan would be like not. It would be when it's an opiate overdose. So what I'm getting is like when you're coming in and it's a different thing. It's a after, and it's hard to explain, but they would be not something that the doctor sees from a normal withdrawal. Like it's before they need sleep, and it's a complicated thing. But like basically, I would say this: working with people, giving them doses, taking them down, working it out. But you hit fentanyl, and then you hit like, doing big sessions, and it came down to basically, I don't know how much longer I could really like do this, and I shouldn't be doing the detoxes. And I was also working with an Iboga provider who is really smart, and like all the ones you see in the movie, Trevor and Gareth, and then they know what I'm doing, they know what I'm capable of, and then at that point, like you're right, like everyone's feeling the risks. But I'm also pretty confident. And so
the rewards outweigh the risks, right? You know that these people are going to have relief. You're saving a life. How much is that worth?
To a certain extent, like I've outweighed those risks now. Do you know what I mean? Like these documentaries are extremely difficult to do. There's nothing scripted or fake about them. They're like, it doesn't even scratch the surface of how demanding it is, and how the real people's lives are on the lines here, and my whole reputation and risk, and just the whole thing is pretty compelling, to be honest, because it's no joke.
Well, the documentary shined a spotlight on it. Now everybody's looking at you.
Well, yeah, and then that's good because I know what I'm doing is going to show them, and I know what the message inside the what we're saying is going to show people. I know that someone who is hurting out there is going to hear what they need to hear in that. Because there's more than just the medicine. There's a whole philosophy about the way you're looking at things. And so Adrienne was she was a mixed bag. So she came in with everything, the lies, the fentanyl, the heroin, the coke, the this, the that, the anxiety, the trauma underneath it all. Right.
Yeah.
So, I just got a message from her like yesterday, funny enough, like 2 days ago. Guess what today is? It's 3 years clean. Thank you so much for your help and guidance.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yay. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Yeah, I have my phone here. I show you the message. It's cool. It's got hearts, and it's just, that's
amazing. You saved a life.
Well, I mean, Iboga does the saving, and, I help facilitate for sure. So, move forward through that experience. That was like, we went to Hollywood. We were on like at the Chinese theater, and like we sold out 1,200 people at the Vogue.
Yeah,
like, spoke in front of that, and 400 people like several times in Vancouver.
Yeah,
and got some good traction, but like big speakers, but then still like nothing really.
Nothing transpired afterwards. Everybody wants to come in here, and then they all go quietly away, and nothing happens. The ball doesn't continue to roll.
But things are happening. Like, the souls are working
slow.
in the background.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's slow. It's a slow roll. We saw this similar thing. I see the rollout of psychedelics really mirroring the rollout of cannabis when it comes to medicinal uses. It was a slow roll for cannabis, and cannabis, all of the rights that patients did wind up with, we wound up winning in court. But I don't think that we're going to see psychedelics take that route. I think they're more accepted almost because of the road that cannabis paved. Now alternative therapies are being looked at, more readily available, and for what they are. And I think psychedelics fit into that piece. We were seeing today in Canada, Section 56s. They're flying off the shelves these days. There's a sale. It's a fire sale. Get your Section 56 here, and you can use psychedelic medicines legally. Practitioners are getting a Section 56 so they can use psychedelics, mushrooms, namely, so that they can experience the effects of mushrooms personally before they prescribe it to their patients. There's a whole group of doctors that are doing that just got the right to do that from Health Canada. So there is movement, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Remember when money got behind cannabis?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what we're seeing now. A couple of LPs, legal producers of cannabis, are in on the psychedelics game. now, and they're getting licenses to grow mushrooms.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so Iboga is a heavier potato to carry, so it kind of
Yeah,
but
that's the big boy, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely it's a powerhouse, but that's the thing. It's also like, undeniable effects for positivity. Like it's just like, so imagine look at this kid out here doing this by himself, like not by himself. I have teams and people for sure, but I'm just saying, look at these small group of individuals, look what they can accomplish. Right. But it's not all like, it's not all positive. So, coming out of dose and going through that experience and then going into like, on a personal level, I'm just, from me to you guys, like I'm challenging the threshold, being safe. I have a nurse, you have him interviewed one day. He's an entire show too.
Yeah. We've already been in talks. We're in talks.
Yeah. He's amazing. Right. And his part is crucially important. Is everything and so anyways, moving down the line and experience, just like, obviously, let's break this up. The physical and the thing. I like to call it like, no matter who comes in and uses the medicine, you're going to go through a detox. It's just like, I mean, maybe the odd, you can't make it as a rule. Like the odd person is going to come in and just like, and then that happens too if you're using all right. But especially if you're in Africa, they'll make you throw up before you use it. Anyways, you should be detoxing. Detox is a part of this thing. You come in.
Get rid of everything.
Yeah. Like normally our sessions are like 2 ceremonies in a week. So you come in, you do one, then wait 3 days and do another one. And so the first one is generally designed to, detoxing physically, mentally, spiritually, setting everything up on the table with what's going to happen and everything like that. Getting you ready for what we call a psychospiritual. And the psychospiritual gives us an opportunity to use the medicine using a therapeutic method, which you saw on Psychedelic Frontier. And for someone who hasn't seen that, it's just, it's an engaging someone on a journey, like actually guiding their own soul to meet themselves and to engage that conversation with someone, like that we all have this voice, we have this voice. Well, what voice are you listening to, and who's the one making the right choice or decision, and who's the one, this whole thing. Let's look at that, and let's get deep into that, because that is something that is carried in the traditions and was trained and taught to me, and then I've experienced on my own in Africa a lot. And that's engaging someone's soul with their own self, and using that as a therapeutic mechanism to really get in there, and face things.
Many of the indigenous peoples around the world have something similar going on. I mean, right here in North America, we've got our North America natives. You go into the sweat lodge, you see your spirit animal, you go on a quest to seek your spirit animal. Sometimes peyote is used for journeys like that. So we see this kind of thing with psychedelics being incorporated with many indigenous peoples around the world. And I don't understand why that's feared, why that's tried to be squashed.
I think you need a show for that on its own. That there's a lot of dynamics involved in this world, and I don't think everything's bright and shiny, and some things are good, some things are bad, and that's just the way it is, But either way, what's important is your own personal truth and what you can discover without any sort of outer influence whatsoever. Yeah. And, because that's what you pretty much came in with. And I would say you're going out with that. So you want to build that relationship and get to know that. Right.
Yeah.
And so I guess back to what happened is looking at, going through, and then really challenging for us, really, really doing some heavy, I would have like psychiatrists or psychotherapists, send me your hardest cases. We started doing some of that, and that would be something where you have someone with a bipolar, what they're calling bipolar, borderline schizophrenia, and then involved with drugs or prescriptions. That gets really difficult. And then, so why I'm telling you all this is because there's always a detox, and then we lead up to the psychospiritual. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's two things. I'm having trouble because it's reverse on the thing. I go this way, it goes out.
I know, it's backwards. We're pointing the wrong way. We talk about that regularly. It's difficult.
Yeah.
So this is the big distinction that I really am making now, and I can see this rolling out in the future for the way things are going to go.
Yeah.
I call it pre-tox. Pre-tox is anyone who's on anything.
Okay.
Okay, like, I mean, if you're on this and you're on that, you got to come and get those things down so you can get on this, because this is what works best with Ibogaine or whatever it's going to be to get off of that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you can, no matter what you're on, you're coming in.
Yeah.
And this pre-tox situation can use Ibogaine. It can use modern medicine, whatever they want to use. And so in Adrienne's case, that was the beginning of what Cadian, where doctors actually were allowed to prescribe Cadians. That's actually a revolutionary thing because she was at the same time. So we were able to bring her in and switch from methadone to Cadian.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was important because the methadone is really difficult, right? I mean, that's one of the worst things that you can do is to go on that methadone. You wind up with a stronger addiction and it's more difficult to get off of. And the toxins in that can really mess you.
Yeah, I think a stronger addiction it's too much of a term, Kim, because everyone's so relative to themselves.
Okay.
But let's just say methadone is a nasty, gray, dark World War II, who knows what kind of crazy thing going on that a lot of people are on and not many get off. Let's just say that. And the other thing about it is that it couple things, like with treatments, it's difficult to treat like straight up with Iboga because just its effects with heart rates and things like that, more medically, But anyways, so what you want to do, and which is great, is try to get someone off of that and onto something more opiate formed. And anyways, and then they can use like Ibogaine, which works really well with that, or whatever else they're going to do
as a stepping stone to get you off.
So I guess for me to explain to you guys is that we're talking about this section called pre-tox now.
Yes.
Now both of these, so dosed is a pre-tox, and I had to deal with that. But luckily, like what you get to see is me fighting that on one end, but over the course of it, I'm doing psycho-spiritual at the same time. And that's the traditional way of dealing with this. And that's why I don't do that anymore, because I want to put pre-tox into its own place. People need to be like institutionalized almost in a sense. You can't have them running all over the place after that. You don't want them like going on anywhere. Like you're using medicines like that. You got to be like, doctors need to be watching. You can start introducing a candle, traditional music. I don't even like, engaging in someone's like sexual abuse when they were younger at that point is like, there's no argument unless, I don't know, that to do it then. Just let them watch movies or something. Let them be comfortable. Let them get over that physical dependency on whatever it is they're on.
Yeah, that's the first step. Before we can deal with this, you got to deal with what's going on in the body, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you can, like, obviously, I'm not saying you're not going to be dealing with this and this, and it's been done with Ibogaine and pre-tox, but this is me talking for what I want to do. I want someone to go professionally, medically, get them clean. And it's going to take some time. And that's why they need to be watched. It takes time. It's safe. Just, you don't have to push forward with stuff. Sometimes therapy can be difficult. Let's put it this way. Like if you guys ever have any, like go into the sink and you got some dried sponges under there.
Yeah.
Those really dry ones,
crusty.
Try to pour water on it. Or if you have a spill, try and use that thing.
It's not going to work. It rolls right off. I mean, you're plastic right now. You can't absorb anything.
I look at therapy to like that state, anything like that. Okay. So that pre-tox is going to give someone that reabsorb that sponge, get it so that it can be working again. You can wring it out and the thing is like not wet, but it's not dry. And so it absorbs stuff better.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to get some moisture on there to make everything start being absorbent again. For sure.
Adrienne was get the dry sponge out of the cupboard, start trying to clean the mess up, and then it's
just scattering it everywhere.
But it's effective stuff. You don't see it on there. I did a psycho-spiritual on her, like we went and talked to her cat, and it's amazing what talking to your cat can do. And you have to just understand how that works. when you're on the medicine and experience yourself, it's hard to just be told things, because this experience isn't about being told anything. It's about witnessing it for yourself.
I want to stress that this is something that, you don't gather with your friends, rent an Airbnb for the weekend. Somebody's going to play shaman and you're going to get some Iboga gain and cure your buddy. That's not how this shit works, right?
No, it's. I think Iboga has built up a kind of force field that people kind of get that already about it, luckily. And maybe someone will, you can do it in small, but you can, you could be someone who's confident, go take it out in the forest by yourself and have an amazing experience, because that's what it's about, the medicine teaching you. Right. But again, I don't know, are you going to go parachuting for your first time by yourself? You're going to go base jump off of the Squamish Chief or something? I'm just going to go by myself this first time because I want that experience. And I'm not saying that, because someone could probably do that. And probably
some people would want to do that, and some people might do it successfully, but many won't.
Generally, I'm light years ahead already because of the people who have taught me already in Africa. Yeah. So anyways, you're right. And it's also dangerous, and it is a dangerous thing. That's why I'm stressing very much how pre-tox belongs somewhere where there's a lot of medical going on. I still have medical even in our sessions with detox psychospiritual. When people are clean, I still have medical there constantly, right? That's a part of my thing. So
safety. You've got a human life in your hands. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're responsible.
Yeah. So, so what you're seeing there is a combination of both. And then time went on, and then I sort of started doing sessions in Costa Rica and stopping in Canada for now until we catch up with some stuff. And then I got contacted from City TV. They're doing this documentary on mainstream. Mark, we watched Dose. My partner watched Dose. The producer's partner watched Dose. What would you do differently on this then? And I said to them, I would like to show more of the psycho-spiritual, because a lot of people, their category, they turn away and stop looking when it's someone with an addiction, because they're not recognizing the addiction in them. Yeah. When it's thinking about negative thoughts, they're just seeing the drug dependency. Yeah. So they put this category of that's just for addicts. Yeah. Which even if they're having anything, that the addictive mechanism is similar. It's just some people have chosen a sharper sword. Yeah. And so anyways, I wanted to get a little bit away from that and say, listen, it's a great opportunity to show the psycho-spiritual aspects, right? Yeah. And that's when I approached reaching out to this person who I know is, I've known him for a long time. It's a difficult thing. I've always wanted to try to have a shot at Iboga with him. And, he was kind of at the end of his thing there. And also with the firefighter who has been through it with us already once, and then again. So anyways, to show this. But I will say what happened with this again, and I was able to show the psycho-spiritual. Yes. That's what you've seen with him. Yeah. But tremendously difficult, because my good friend Pat he had still imagine having a very tough time with a very nasty addiction. And I'm talking, these are next level addictions. And that's why I'm putting myself out here. These are the ends of the things. A lot of these people, they come to me and they say to me, if this doesn't work, I'm dead. I deal with a lot of suicidal thoughts and suicidal last realities. My nephew overdosed in December of this year with us here, and he's close to us here. He just had a girl pregnant up here. Tragic story. And this is someone I'm helping with my family. Moved him out here. He's here and everything. And he had one slip up, and that was it. And so we were going through that. And I went with Pat and emptied out his room. This is before the documentary was coming out in January. This is some serious stuff that we're dealing with. This is, there's six people that have, there's 6 people that have died that I've worked with closely, even with psychospirituals. I can't keep up. And chase everybody all the time and give them what they
Very
need.
difficult. It's a big burden. I mean, you've got big shoulders.
Well, the burden is
carry
translated. Listen, if that burden sat on me, I'd be crushed. So the burden, it comes through, and I know I've given these people an opportunity to make amends and have some peace with the soul. But I also know that, like, it is what it is. You do your best, and
That's all you can do.
but it's going to take more than Mark Howard. It's going to take, because there's so many good providers out there just waiting to happen. And, and it's the medicine, really. It's just, you just got it. It's not me. It's me because, I'm particularly good with understanding the safety and use of the medicine and being able to translate it to people and just help with the medicine. Like Iboga likes me because I can get Iboga into people's mouths.
Yeah.
But I like Iboga because, like, no one's going to come to, like, Mark Howard's having a session next week in, Pemberton. Oh, really? I thought he wasn't doing Iboga anymore. He's not. It's just him. Like, it's not gonna do very much.
Yeah, I think you might be surprised. I think you might.
I understand that too, because I've also had a lot of really influential shamanistic people in my life that have taught me a lot. So, there's a lot of me that goes with it, but that can be everyone and people too. But the medicine, when you do it, you'll understand what I meant by that. It's just like really extraordinary. So quickly rolling into this new documentary really took on a really next level thing again. But again, this was to show. So wrapping it up, I started out with sort of addictive stuff. And what I realized is after I got over that, is this amazing inner spiritual work that I was able to accomplish, like using this medicine, and then going to Africa and having these profound initiations and rites of passages and the trainings, and then the working with hundreds of people and the leading into dosed and putting everything out there and being on the edge of your seat, like speaking in front of 1,200 people and seeing big business come into it and sitting in boardrooms now and watching that and how that is and isn't going to work. And, working with, like, sitting with big figures, and talking to them, people who are
blew up.
Well, yeah, it blows up. And then I laid down doctors. I've laid down like 10 doctors and psychotherapists, psychiatrists, and understanding that the medical system, they talk to me like doctors, because it is. So what we're dealing with, like you guys with cannabis, is you guys are steadfast on your journey because you know the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so this is just our goal is just to remove the obstacles and the blocks that are preventing people from getting to the truth. And then once they get to the truth, allowing them to use this medicine safely so they can start removing their own blocks to their own truth.
Absolutely. I'm really happy that City TV partnered with you to make, the Psychedelic Frontier, because as you said, it did shine a different spotlight. Many people looked at Dosed and went, oh, that's the one for drug addicts,
Yes.
And they put it out of their mind. It didn't have a relevance in their particular world, but then when you shine that spotlight and say, look, it's the exact same therapy. It's the exact same guy. We're going to do the same thing. This guy is doing it because of PTSD. Let's not put the focus on the fact that, yes, he does suffer from addiction. Let's focus on the fact that he has addiction because of his PTSD. And now it involves veterans. Now it involves the good men and women that are out there protecting us, and serving our country. And that kind of makes everybody go, oh, well, what's that now? And now we're looking at it differently. It opened different doors. It opened different eyes. And it's coming with more acceptance because of the people that it's treating, rather than it be the guy from downtown Vancouver's Lower East Side. Now it's the guy that just got off the boat or the plane from Afghanistan. And that makes a difference. So I'm really glad that City TV did the Frontier for you. I'm looking in the chat right now and I see gazillions of questions. We are already way over time. I don't give a shit. We're going overtime, but we do have to break for a commercial. We've got to pay some bills in here from some of our sponsors. Now, because of my little glitch that happened earlier, I don't happen to have it loaded, so I'm going to have to do the share screen thing. So it might take a few seconds for it to start playing. But in the meantime, we're all going to hang out in the lobby for a few minutes while we hear from about a 4-minute commercial break from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll be bringing Michelle Sikora in with us to do some Q&As. from our live audience here at paceradio.net on our maiden show of Open Your Eye. So stay tuned, and Cindy and I will be right back after the break. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your herboricultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in phone or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, and contact us for curbside pickup as well as wire shipping.
Legacy 420 for all.
Of Legacy 20.
Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we are coming back. Our joined host in and get
welcome back, folks.
Around.
Kim is breaking up a little bit there. I don't know if you can
break. They're paying some bills back, everybody. All right, it's going to bring in joint host with us next. Up on top, of course, is the lovely Michelle Sikora. As soon as I can get her to add her to stream. There we go. There she is. And let's bring our amazing guest for this evening, today's maiden show, back in again as well, Mr. Mark Howard from IbogaSoul. Awesome to have everybody back after the break. Thank you very much to our sponsors and to our viewers for listening to our sponsor messages. We're back again, and we're having a great in-depth convo with Mark about how he got his embarked on this journey that he's been on, and how he goes about helping people and what it means to him, and all that he's done. And we've got some quite enthusiastic listeners out there, don't we, Michelle?
Yes, we certainly do. I just seen everybody was showing their kitty cat, so I had to show Olivia too.
Right on.
It's been great.
Yeah, I noticed a whole bunch of coming by.
Yeah, I got a bunch of questions written down from our viewers. I've got a few written down that I came up with as well, and some that people sent me privately. And during the conversation, you already answered quite a few of the questions that I had written down, but that's great. I'm glad everybody's tuned in. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Awesome. Yeah. Mark, Michelle, Mark. Yeah. And StreamYard, everything goes backwards. So right now, from my perspective, I'm going to point to Cindy.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
see?
Kim.
She's Yeah, it does like a mirror thing or something going on. It's quite interesting. It gets confusing sometimes. It definitely gets confusing when you're trying to point to somebody. You got to point the opposite way. I noticed several questions flying by. You know, when we were closing off there, Mark, before the break, we were talking about the difference in perspective once PTSD was brought in on the scene and showing the experiences with this medicine concerning, you know, mental stress from, like, say, a veteran. You know, that changed the whole game and opened everything up for new perspectives from many people. And now a lot of people have questions, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. I've been writing them down as they've been coming in, still writing them down. I hope I can read my own chicken scratch that I got going on.
All right, fire away, huge, Michelle. Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, it was just wanted to mention last night I was watching Explain the Unexplained, and it happened to be a show about the Tiahuanaca people from Bolivia, and they were talking about they were exploring their ruins and that, and they found evidence in artifacts as well as images carved on the walls that the Tiahuanaca people used to snort psychedelics in ritual experiences 2,000 years ago. So I thought that was really interesting. I had to write that down because we're coming on today to talk about this. And I'm like, wow, you know, just like cannabis, this has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And people haven't been paying attention. And I'm so glad that there's people like you, Mark, out there bringing it to the forefront and all these documentaries and that, and, you know, bringing awareness to it. So it's fabulous. So, yeah, I'm just going to start getting to the questions here. If you're all good with that, Mark, there's a lot of people who have questions for you. So this one came to me last night in a private message. A viewer would like to know, how can psilocybins or psychedelics help chase away nightmares?
Well, okay, so let's look what's a nightmare. You know, it's I don't think it's not going to chase it away. It's going to make you more accepting of it. Like, and that's an important thing, right? So if you turn it into what is it? So someone's getting bothered. So for some reason the images that they're seeing and, you know, are bothering them. So it would give them more insight into understanding them, maybe, and maybe then looking into like as to why they're getting them, and maybe changing some sort of patterns that are possibly creating them. Like, why are they having them? You know what I mean? Like, I can't necessarily say. And again, psilocybin is it's not like my forte. I mean, I did a lot of mushrooms when I was younger and stuff like that. You said psilocybin, right?
Yes, psilocybins or psychedelics. Because there's a lot of research on both right now. Yeah,
so the word psychedelic too, like, and that's good because, you know, I'm a kind of a hippie kid, but with Iboga, it's considered, I think, a psychedelic, but it's a medicine that's going to bring you a lot of truth to you. You know what I mean? The medicine is going to bring a lot of truth to you, and so when you see that truth, you start, you know, where's the nightmare scene? You see it on the screen, right? You see on what screen where you're looking at, like, somehow that screen is consciousness to you. So I think being more aware and around what it is you're looking at, like, you know, like they always say that the truth will set you free. So if you feel like you're being imprisoned by these nightmares, maybe it's time that these medicines could really help bring you to those fears and face them. You know, once you get an opportunity to face them and to learn about them, either they're not going to occur because, you know, they're not going to happen, or it's the same as if someone, like, say, had a bad breakup and, you know, they can't get over it. You know, they would have to like eventually understand that it's over, and they're going to have to accept that it's over, and they're going to have to make that choice on their own. So they have this saying in Africa, like, care not to care. You care about yourself so much that you don't care about that person anymore because it's affecting you so bad. Like, your ship is being sunk by all these holes you're putting in it every day, right? And so care to not care, in a sense, applies to this, because how far are you going to allow these nightmares to run your life, you know? So there's that, is beginning to understand them and to learn to accept them and to learn from them and to move forward and possibly not have them occur so much. So I say that psychedelics could help with that.
Okay, so it's kind of like almost like what you guys were talking about, like a lot of people when treating with either psilocybins, Iboga, you know, and people think addiction right away, but their addiction is stemming from something else. So getting to the direct, right? So it's almost like you're getting to the root of the problem, you know, with the nightmares aspect, if you can bring it up, because, you know, our nightmares come from our subconscious. So if you can use psilocybins or psychedelic to get deep into that subconscious and deal with those underlying issues, would you think that those nightmares would go away then?
Well, I would say there's a lot better possibility, for sure. I mean, you're that's the spiritual world speaking to you, you know what I mean? And so something's not aligned, and a lot of time it could be from something you've done wrong or trauma, or it's something, you know, and that's what this medicine experience, you know, it's going to give them a great shot at understanding it.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned spirituality a lot, and, you know, doesn't necessarily, or does it mean